Hello everybody. In the current affairs this week, the first and foremost, the Indian equity markets. The Indian equity markets were by and large unchanged. There was no major movement. As far as the 10-year GSEC yield in India is concerned, there was no major movement. But something that was noteworthy as far as the Indian stock markets are concerned was that this week there was a net FII outflow from India to the extent of 6,422 crores from the Indian stock markets. While as whatever has happened in last couple of years, the DIIs once again this week were net buyers to the extent of rupees 9,093 crores worth of equities from the Indian equity markets. Coming to the commodity markets and then to the international commodity markets, Brent crude was up by 3.29%. Gold and silver were up by 1.6 to 1.7%. As far as the US markets are concerned, the US markets 10-year GSEC in the US was unchanged, and the Nasdaq and S&P were in an uptrend moderately of around 1%. This week, I would like to talk and discuss about some changing trends which are happening in the Indian economy and in the Indian corporate scene, and that impacting our Indian stock markets. For years and years together, the companies which flourished in India were big banks, big IT companies, big refining companies, big commodity companies. Now the trend is very different. Now there are companies which were quite unheard of are now gaining a lot of strength in the Indian scene. One of the companies which I would like to talk, and not for the reason that I want to talk in respect of that company, but I would like to talk in respect of the changing trend. One such company which comes to my mind, and especially on account of certain corporate action this week, is Varun Beverages. Varun Beverages is a bottler of carbonated drinks, juices, and even water. Today, in terms of market capitalization, it is amongst the top 50 companies in India, and it is appreciated, or its stock is appreciated by 80% this year, and it is 18x from the IPO price of 2016. So this is the kind of companies that the Indian stock market and India is looking at in terms of development. Earlier we used to hear that big groups, big industrial groups, big conglomerates from India would acquire companies outside of India. This company, Varun Beverages, in respect of which I am talking, has acquired a bottling company in South Africa, and they estimate that from this company and this operations in South Africa, they would be tripling the share in a few years to come on account of this acquisition. So these are the kind of companies, these are the kind of new age industries which are coming up in India. So that conventional way of thinking is not something that is going to work when you are looking at and evaluating stocks and sectors and businesses in India. The growth companies in India in the times to come are going to be quite very different. When you connect this with several individual portfolios and individual investments, the trend all these years have been that individual investors have brought great companies, most celebrated companies, and kept them for a long period of time in their portfolios. The fact that we need to understand on account of this example which I am giving is that great companies need not be great investment ideas. So this is something which comes up in my mind on account of whatever has been happening on the Indian corporate scene. Thank you.